She was beautiful. She was famous. But behind her smile was a story of struggle, courage, and dreams. Marilyn Monroe was not just a movie star. She was a symbol of hope, sadness, and strength. People loved her because she was more than perfect looks. She was a real person with fears, goals, and a strong heart. This book tells her story in a simple way. You will learn how a poor girl became the most famous woman in Hollywood. You will see how fame gave her joy, but also pain. And in the end, you may see parts of yourself in her journey. Marilyn Monroe was not born with that name. Her real name was Norma Jean Mortensen. She was born on June 1st, 1926, in Los Angeles, California. Her mother, Gladys, had mental health problems. Norma Jean never knew her father. From the start, her life was full of pain and change. Norma Jean's childhood was full of change and hardship. She moved from one foster home to another. Sometimes kind friends took her in, and other times she stayed in busy, crowded orphanages. In those places, the world often felt cold and lonely. Yet, even in the darkest days, she would close her eyes and dream. She loved to read stories that painted magical worlds, sing soft songs that warmed her heart, and imagine a life filled with love and safety. People said her smile was as warm as the morning sun, and her eyes shone with a gentle light that hinted at hope. At the young age of 16, Norma Jean married Jim Dougherty in a small, quiet ceremony. This union was her way out of the cold foster care system that had offered her little warmth. Jim, a gentle man with calloused hands from long days working as a truck driver, tried to give her a safe haven. On rainy afternoons, when the world outside was dark and cold, he would share a simple meal with her in a modest diner. The clink of dishes and soft murmur of conversations filled the space, and for a short while, Norma Jean felt a flicker of hope. However, life with Jim was far from the exciting future she dreamed of. There were evenings when they sat on a worn-out sofa in their small apartment, and Norma Jean would gaze out the window at the flickering street lights. In those moments, she remembered the books she loved to read and the films that painted vivid pictures of a grand life. One rainy night, after a long day of work, she confided in Jim about a scene in a movie where the heroine broke free from all her troubles. Her eyes shone as she spoke of a life filled with light and possibility, a life where she could be both kind and bold. Jim listened with care. He gave her gentle pats on the hand and offered quiet words of comfort. But his world was simple, and his dreams were modest. Norma Jean's heart, however, was wild with ambition. Every gentle word from Jim was a reminder of what she could have, yet also of what she longed to change. Even as she sought the stability that marriage could offer, her soul burned with the desire to break free and build a better life. A life where her inner light could shine without being dimmed by everyday hardships. During World War II, while the world was in turmoil, Norma Jean worked long hours in a noisy factory. The clatter of machines and the heat from the furnaces filled the air as she labored among other workers. One day, a photographer visited the factory. He had kind eyes and a sharp eye for beauty. In the midst of that industrial chaos, he captured her image for a magazine. In that photograph, her eyes shone with a mix of determination and hidden dreams. People were captivated by her natural charm. Soon, modeling offers began to appear, each one opening a door to a new life. Norma Jean made a brave choice. She changed her hair color to a radiant blonde, a color that seemed to capture the brightness of a new beginning. She also adopted the name Marilyn Monroe. The name Marilyn had a soft, enchanting sound, inspired by a stage actress she admired. Monroe was a tribute to her mother's memory. With this new name, she started to build a fresh identity that promised hope and possibility. But Marilyn was not content with simply being known for her looks. She enrolled in acting classes where she practiced reading scripts and learning how to express deep emotions. In one small, crowded classroom, she once recited a monologue about a girl who dared to dream beyond her small world. Her voice trembled with both fear and hope, and her classmates listened intently. Though many in Hollywood still saw only her physical beauty, every lesson in that class fed her determination to be respected as a true artist. Her journey was not easy. There were days when the focus on her appearance hurt her deeply. Yet, each setback only strengthened her resolve. Marilyn's spirit was strong, and she continued to push forward, determined to shape her destiny with courage and heart. In the early 1950s, Marilyn began with small film roles. Soon, she found herself in major movies like Gentlemen Prefer Blondes and How to Marry a Millionaire. On set, the sparkle of studio lights and the rush of applause made her feel like she had finally arrived. Her charm and natural beauty captivated audiences. People loved her clear, gentle voice, her infectious laugh, and the graceful style she brought to every scene. As her fame grew, Marilyn became a symbol of allure. Men admired her, and many women saw her as a role model. Yet, the bright lights of Hollywood also brought heavy pressure. Every day, the public expected her to be flawless. Behind the camera, away from the glitz and glamour, she often felt a deep sense of nervousness and self-doubt. There were quiet moments when she would sit in her trailer, listening to her own thoughts and questioning if she could truly be more than just a pretty face. Determined to be respected as a real actress, Marilyn worked very hard. She spent many evenings reading scripts and writing in her journals, trying to understand the art of storytelling. In one memorable instance, after filming a long day of intense scenes, she stayed late in the studio practicing lines until her voice grew hoarse, all in a bid to perfect her craft. In a bold move, especially rare for a woman in the 1950s, she even started her own film company. This decision was her way of taking control of her future, choosing her own roles, and growing as an artist. With each new challenge, she showed a commitment not just to her career, but to the pursuit of a deeper, more meaningful life in the world of film. Marilyn Monroe was loved by millions, yet she often felt a deep loneliness that no fame could fill. Her personal life was a series of passionate but troubled relationships. She married 3 times, each union marked by both hope and heartache. Her second husband, Joe DiMaggio, was a celebrated baseball star with a tender side. When they were together, Joe showered her with affection. He would take her to quiet walks along the beach, where the sound of gentle waves matched the rhythm of their whispered conversations. However, DiMaggio was not comfortable with the glare of the public spotlight. His discomfort with her fame led to frequent arguments. The couple clashed over the constant attention and intrusive rumors. Their love, though deep, was not enough to overcome the pressures, and they soon divorced. Her third husband, Arthur Miller, was a brilliant writer who seemed to understand the complexity of her inner world. In quiet evenings spent in their modest home, he would listen to her speak about her dreams and fears. For a time, his empathy and gentle humor brought her moments of true happiness. Yet, even that marriage, which had the promise of understanding and support, eventually crumbled under the weight of unmet expectations and lingering personal demons. Marilyn longed to be loved for her true self, not just for her glamorous appearance. She dreamed of having children, imagining a warm family life filled with laughter and unconditional love. However, her health problems and the relentless pressures of Hollywood kept that dream at bay. In tender moments, alone in her dressing room or in the quiet of the night, she often felt that she was not enough. These moments of isolation deepened her inner sorrow, even as the world outside celebrated her as an icon. By the late 1950s, the weight of fame had grown unbearably heavy for Marilyn. Behind the dazzling lights and adoring crowds, she carried a burden few could see. In the quiet hours after long shooting days, when the cameras were off and the studio sets were empty, Marilyn often sat alone in her trailer. There, in the dim glow of a single lamp, she would stare at old photographs of her childhood and weep softly, missing the simplicity of a life before the glare of Hollywood. Rumors began to swirl like autumn leaves in a storm. In hushed whispers, insiders recounted tales of secret meetings with political figures. It was said that one humid summer evening, after a private party in a lavish mansion on the outskirts of Los Angeles, Marilyn was seen leaving in a sleek black car filled with well-dressed men. Among them, sources claimed, were aides of President Kennedy and even his brother, Robert. These encounters were not publicized openly, but the gossip columns of the time ran detailed stories about her mysterious liaisons. One report described how, after such a meeting, her eyes, usually bright with charm, carried an unmistakable glimmer of sorrow and resignation, as if she were mourning a secret too painful to keep. On another occasion, a close friend later recalled a midnight dinner at a quiet restaurant far from the Hollywood buzz. Over half-empty glasses of red wine, Marilyn confided that the political whispers and her own part in those shadowy gatherings left her feeling like she was living two lives. One was the glamorous, sparkling persona the world adored, and the other was a lonely, vulnerable soul desperate for genuine connection. These moments of raw honesty contrasted sharply with the public image of the ever-smiling star, highlighting the deep scars left by a life where every move was scrutinized and every secret, no matter how small, became a burden. Such detailed accounts not only captured the public's imagination, but also deepened the mystery surrounding her. The pressure to always appear perfect on screen clashed painfully with the inner turmoil that no one could see. Each whispered conversation and every clandestine encounter added another layer to her already heavy heart. In a world where every mistake was magnified by the relentless spotlight, Marilyn's private struggles with fame and her secret entanglements with power left an indelible mark on her spirit, one that continued to haunt her even as she dazzled audiences with her undeniable talent. At the same time, the relentless demands of her public image pushed her to the brink. She started taking pills to sleep and to escape the constant scrutiny. There were days when she missed work or behaved in ways that startled her colleagues, who labeled her as difficult, without understanding the deep inner turmoil she faced. Yet, she was much more than just a glamorous star. She was a human being with fears, dreams, and a sensitive heart. Even as she delivered powerful performances in films like The Misfits, which showcased her deep talent, she felt trapped under a spotlight that exposed every misstep and every vulnerable moment. The controversies linking her to the world of politics only intensified her struggle, making her feel like a pawn in a game she never wanted to play. This mix of public adoration, invasive scrutiny, and personal heartache painted the true picture of a woman fighting to be seen as more than just an icon. A woman who longed to be understood for her inner light as well as her outer beauty. In the summer of 1962, Marilyn Monroe's life was filled with both hope and struggle. She had recently secured a new contract with 20th Century Fox, suggesting a potential comeback in her film career. On August 4th, she spent the morning discussing a photo shoot with photographer Lawrence Schiller, aiming to refresh her public image. Later, she received a massage and spoke with friends over the phone, indicating plans for the days ahead. Her housekeeper, Eunice Murray, and publicist Patricia Newcomb were present that day. Newcomb recalled an argument due to Marilyn's restless night prior. As evening approached, her psychiatrist, Dr. Ralph Greenson, conducted a therapy session and asked Murray to stay overnight. Marilyn then had a cheerful phone conversation with Joe DiMaggio Jr., expressing happiness over his recent breakup with a girlfriend she disapproved of. Actor Peter Lawford later invited her to a party, but became alarmed by her slurred speech and vague goodbyes, prompting concern among her close circle. In the early hours of August 5th, Murray noticed Marilyn's bedroom light still on and found the door locked. After peering through a window, she saw Marilyn lying motionless, clutching a telephone. Dr. Greenson was summoned, broke into the room, and discovered Marilyn deceased. The official cause was listed as probable suicide due to a barbiturate overdose. However, Marilyn's death has been surrounded by speculation and conspiracy theories. Rumors of affairs with President John F. Kennedy and his brother, Robert F. Kennedy, fueled narratives of political entanglements and potential foul play. Some accounts suggest she was privy to sensitive information, leading to theories of intentional silencing. Others believe her death was a tragic accident, resulting from the pressures of fame and personal struggles. The world was stunned by the loss of such an iconic figure at just 36 years old. Fans mourned deeply, grappling with the paradox of a woman adored by millions, yet battling profound loneliness. Her passing underscored the harsh realities of celebrity life and the often overlooked personal battles faced by public figures. In death, Marilyn Monroe's legend has only intensified, symbolizing both the allure and the tragic pitfalls of stardom. Marilyn Monroe remains one of the most iconic figures in history, her influence spanning decades and touching various facets of culture and society. Her radiant smile, captivating voice, and undeniable beauty are etched into public memory. Yet, it's her depth and complexity that continue to resonate, symbolizing the intricate dance between allure and vulnerability. In the realm of fashion, Marilyn's style has left an indelible mark. Her collaboration with renowned costume designers resulted in timeless looks that continue to inspire the industry. The iconic white halter dress from The 7-Year Itch and the pink gown from Gentlemen Prefer Blondes have been emulated by countless artists, underscoring her lasting impact on fashion trends. Beyond her sartorial influence, Marilyn played a pivotal role in reshaping the portrayal of women in cinema. She challenged the era's stereotypes, embodying characters that exuded both sensuality and intelligence. Her determination to be recognized as more than just a blonde bombshell paved the way for nuanced female roles in Hollywood. Her personal struggles and triumphs have also sparked discussions within feminist circles. Marilyn's candidness about her experiences with exploitation and her quest for autonomy resonate with themes central to the women's movement. She epitomized the complexities of womanhood, balancing societal expectations with personal aspirations. In essence, Marilyn Monroe's legacy is multifaceted. She not only captivated audiences with her on-screen performances, but also challenged and redefined cultural norms. Her life invites reflection on the nature of fame, the pursuit of authenticity, and the timeless quest for self-acceptance. Marilyn Monroe's life, marked by both dazzling success and profound challenges, offers a rich tapestry for reflection. Her journey prompts us to ponder several thought-provoking questions. Is it possible for someone to embody both strength and vulnerability simultaneously? What does it truly mean to be loved for one's authentic self rather than external appearances? Should success be measured by public recognition or inner contentment? Marilyn Monroe's journey, though brief, was a tapestry woven with moments of brilliance and shadows of despair. She brought joy to many, even while grappling with her own inner turmoil. Her story serves as a mirror, reflecting our own dreams, insecurities, and desires for connection. Beyond her captivating exterior, Marilyn was a woman who endeavored to navigate the complexities of her existence. Let us remember her not solely for her beauty, but for her resilience and courage to shine amidst adversity.